The sleek glass doors of Kennedy International Airport slid open as Julia Bennett adjusted the strap of her deliberately scuffed backpack. Her chestnut hair was pulled back in a plain ponytail, her face bare of makeup. She wore old jeans, a faded gray sweater, and sneakers that had clearly seen better days. No one would guess this woman was the wife of Nathaniel Bennett, billionaire founder and CEO of Aurora Airlines. Julia checked her phone one last time. The voice recorder app was already running. 3 new emails from disgruntled customers had arrived, all forwarded from her former colleagues at the Consumer Rights Network. Same pattern. She whispered, scrolling through. First-class tickets mysteriously downgraded. Passengers in modest clothing reassigned to economy. Her steps echoed against the polished floors of the Aurora terminal, styled in signature turquoise and ivory hues. She recalled the dinner that had sparked this mission. "Nathan, have you noticed these complaints?" she'd asked, sliding a folder across the table. He barely glanced up from his investment reports. "Customer service is HR's domain, Jules. I trust my team." "Your team hasn't walked the floors in years," she said, her investigative instinct tingling. "Something's changed." He'd kissed her forehead. "If it bothers you so much, look into it. You're still the sharpest mind I know." It was meant as a brush-off. But Julia Bennett, who'd once embedded with corrupt hospital executives for 9 months to expose fraud, heard it as a green light. Today, she was Alexandra Jules Whitaker again. Her maiden name, a first-class passenger to Chicago, paid in cash. No frequent flyer number. No digital footprint linking her to the Aurora empire. Near her, a woman in her 60s struggled with her luggage. An Aurora employee walked right past. "Let me help you," Jules said, lifting the bag onto the scale. "Thank you, dear," the woman smiled. "Not like the old days, huh?" "No, ma'am, it's not." She noted how the same employee quickly assisted a suited businessman. At check-in, Jules activated her discreet recording device. As Nathan focused on acquisitions, she sensed something rotting in the company's core. A creeping elitism that violated the airline's founding values. A couple with designer bags received wide smiles and offers of champagne. An older man in a cardigan got a cold nod. This wasn't the airline they built together. Back then, Aurora was about dignity. Luxury with heart, Nathan had pitched investors. Everyone deserves respect in the air. "Miss Whitaker," a woman called. Jules looked up. The employee, Melissa, wore a name tag and an impatient look. "Yes, sorry," Jules replied, fumbling with her ID and worn leather wallet. Melissa's lips pursed. "You're in first class?" "Yes, my first time." Melissa turned to a supervisor. Their whispers were hushed, but their glances spoke volumes. The night before, Nathan had caught her staring at seating charts. "Working late. Just research." He'd rub her shoulders. "Remember when we used to stay up building dreams?" She'd nearly confessed it all, but he needed evidence, not suspicions. Now the supervisor returned. "Miss Whitaker, I'm Linda Pearson, customer service lead. There's been a slight issue with your booking. I confirmed everything yesterday. There was an overbooking. We're reassigning you to economy. Standard procedure. But I paid for first class," Jules said. "You'll receive a partial refund. Perhaps next time." Behind Linda, Melissa smirked. "No entry for the poor. They should fly budget." Jules remained composed. "I'd like to speak to someone else." "There's no one else. Unless you're an Aurora elite or regular first-class flyer. This is the best we can offer." Jules sighed, voice tinged with practiced disappointment. "I saved up for this. It was supposed to be special." Linda's mask slipped for a moment, then reassembled. Jules took her new boarding pass. As she stepped aside, a businessman approached. "Mr. Harrington," Linda beamed. "Your usual seat is ready. Can my collie be upgraded? We're full, but..." "Yes, we'll make an exception." Jules's stomach tightened. So the seats weren't really gone, just reserved for the right faces. As she walked toward security, the older woman from earlier appeared. "They did it to you too, didn't they?" "Mom." "The downgrade. I saw it. Happens to me all the time. They judge on appearance now. Used to be ticket-based. Now I carry celebrity photos, family foundation cards. Ridiculous, right?" Has this been happening often? Pattern's been building. I'm Margaret Whitfield, by the way. Philanthropist. Flew Aurora since its beginning. That founder, Nathaniel Bennett, he used to walk the aisles. Shame what happens when vision fades. At security, Jules ducked her head. Caroline Wynn, Aurora's customer experience chief, breezed past with VIP clearance. The same exec who assured Nathan that customer satisfaction had never been higher. As the gate area buzzed, Jules watched carefully. The gate agent, Trevor, smiled broadly for designer-wrapped passengers, nodded briskly at others. When her group was called, his smile faded. Boarding pass. Here, you'll need to check that bag. We're out of overhead space. The plane just started boarding. Premium customers have priority. A man behind Jules spoke up. You let bigger bags through. Trevor stiffened. Company policy, sir. You may contact customer service. Jules handed over her backpack, recording devices already tucked in her coat. Trevor muttered. Economy thinks they deserve first-class treatment. A colleague snorted. Be grateful they're even on board. No entry for the poor. On board, the class divide was stark. Plush seats, hot towels, real wine for first class. Harsh lights, tight space, indifferent service in economy. Jules sat between Margaret and a college student, Jason. We meet again, Margaret smiled. Starting to think it's not a coincidence, Jules said. Oh, it's not, Margaret whispered. Policy. I've been tracking it. Flight attendant Heather barely glanced at Jason's broken tray complaint. We'll file it later. A text buzzed. Internal memo confirmed. Caroline Wynn's initiative. Project appearance matters. Bonus tied to perceived value. Staff trained to prioritize high-value visuals. Jules exhaled. It wasn't row behavior. It was systemic. An elderly man asked for heart medication from his now-checked bag. Heather replied, You should have thought of that. Jules texted her assistant. Background check. Heather Morgan. 3 prior complaints, all dismissed. Later, Jules's call button went ignored. Again, a man across the aisle received water and a cocktail instantly. Jason leaned over. You're recording this, aren't you? FAA? Investigator. Margaret smiled. Whoever she is, I hope she brings change. Then came the message. Caroline Wynn is on board. Seated 2A. She's senior alias. Cover blown. As the plane landed, Caroline stood, motioned to the lead flight attendant, and marched down the aisle. She snapped. Come with me. Now. Identity fraud is a federal crime. Jules replied calmly. My name is legally Alexandra Jules Whitaker. No fraud. Passengers stirred. Phones raised. You misrepresented yourself, Caroline accused. MS. Wynn, Jules said, I've recorded every interaction today, every biased word under Project Appearance Matters. Caroline paled. I don't know what you're talking about. Jules stood. Appearance-based service. Bonuses for discrimination. Internal memos, all documented. The flight attendant gasped. Who are you? Julia Bennett, wife of Nathaniel Bennett. The cabin erupted. Caroline faltered. This is an internal matter. No, Jules said. Discrimination should never be private. Margaret stood beside her. I've tracked the same thing. Jason added, they made my grandma check her medical gear because she wore sweats. She's a retired surgeon. Other passengers joined in. One flight attendant confessed. We're told to judge by looks. It's part of our bonus structure. This isn't about punishing staff, Jules said. It's about changing the system. Caroline glared, but said nothing. As the passengers applauded, Jules nodded. Let's let these people off. They've endured enough. Margaret hugged her. You got fire, girl. Don't lose it. A text arrived from Nathaniel, saw the footage. I'm flying in. We need to talk. 3 weeks later, Jules stood with Nathan at Aurora's HQ. We lost our way, Nathan said to the staff. And I take responsibility. Jules introduced Margaret as head of the new Passenger Dignity Committee and Jennifer, the whistleblowing flight attendant, as a trainer for revised protocols. We've eliminated appearance-based incentives, Jules said. New metrics will focus on equal service, regardless of seat. Nathan nodded. We're retraining not just for procedures, but to undo cultural bias. In the back row, Caroline sat quietly. Offered a chance to fix the problem, not be fired, she accepted. When asked, "Do premium passengers deserve more?" Jules responded, "They deserve better amenities, but not more respect. Dignity isn't a luxury." 6 months later, Jules boarded Flight 743 to Chicago. Trevor greeted her warmly. "It's good to see you, Mrs. Bennett." "Just Jules," she smiled. Heather approached, nervous. "Thank you for everything." "We're all growing," Jules said. The flight was smoother. Polite. Equal. At the gate, she saw Margaret again. "You started a movement," Margaret said. "Other airlines are watching." Nathan met her with a hug. "How was it?" "Progress," she replied. "Not perfect, but better." They passed a rival airline gate. Passengers sorted by appearance. "Still a lot of work to do," Jules said. "But at least," Nathan answered, "we've begun." Dignity, once treated as a luxury, was slowly being reclaimed for everyone.